So we're in Pier Marquette winery and conference room place in like Grafton. So there's lots of people today, and my chorus have a retreat here. So you have like hotel rooms that way. Look at that, all the tallness and rafters, and lots of sunshine. And you have Mississippi River there, right there. So it's very neat. So you have some decoration, and then you can go in the restaurant and try lots of wine. But the view outside is like, wow, beautiful, relaxing. And we have like a 50s today. A couple of days ago it was negative temperatures, but it's amazing, nice and relaxing, really fun place to be. Huge space in here, and all the ice has started to melt on the river. And there a little bit to the left there's supposed to be like a ferry area, because people live in the island there, and they have to get to the mainland somewhere. And like even yesterday there was lots of ice on the water. This is the front on Sunday, rainy. At least it's not freezing cold. So there's a large part itself, and you have little buildings there. There's a huge area, and you have cabins and all kinds of different hiking trails. This is Grafton, Illinois, right by the river. It's showing only 650 people live here, but you have hills on one side, houses and the tall stills. Look at that house. And there's a big fog happening, and still some ice in there on the river. But can you imagine living there on that hill? Wow. Still losing my voice a bit. Wow. And that's like it of a town. We got the church. And good evening, and on the 3rd of February, and I'm back from my retreat. Started stitching, and before I remembered that, I wanted to show you where I started. So again, this is my Lady of the Flag by Mira, and what I've done is pretty much the hair and was that going to be flowers in there. So if you've seen before my work, you know that this kind of skin grouping really put me off this work, and I was looking and looking, and got a couple of recommendations of different threads to stitch maybe better. So I'll show you what I chose. think I'm gonna take out this whole dark because there's like 3 different colors in here. So I think I might leave this color as the fairest. And then would be there's another between this and that color. So at first somebody recommended this as the lightest color, but I'm fair-skinned, and if you look, even my skin is not that super bright color of whiteness, so I think this 3770 would not work. So as was recommended by Nora Corbett, I think this might be the very lightest color I would go with, which is 948. And if I had to choose like 3 different shades, I think 945 would be my second in a darkened shade. And then I was looking, but I'm still not fully sure about this 754, which I think would be this in-between color like that I stitched. So I think these go well. I'm still not fully sure about this color. I might work a bit more digging through the palette of the colors and work, but that would mean now I have to unpick all this darkness, and but I think I can continue stitching this, so that's what I might do, a little bit of a skin and then go back. The hair is pretty much all done as a cross stitch. There's lots of beads gonna be happening, and of course there's a skin all over this place, and that's where the other arm starts with the skin, and then there's like a bunch of beads in here too. So I'll be working just a little bit. I'm exhausted since I didn't get much sleep. I'm getting my voice back, so it's not that hoarse. And my husband is gone for a few days, flying out. It's gonna take him forever to land. Airport problems or flights or something. But anyway, we'll see how this whole color palette works out. Wish me luck. It's a February 6th morning, and I'm uploading my January overview in Lithuanian language. And this is what I pulled out to work in the morning. So I figured out 30 minutes or so of this to put in. So I figured I probably should start getting the little ones, like a single stitches in first in this one. And I wanted to ask you, would it be easier, would you want me to put a video like a full month or review versus like what I'm doing right now every 2 weeks, or you want both of them, or what? Because I know, you know, at the end of the month you might not remember what I worked on in the beginning of the month. So please let me know in the bottom in the comment section. So again, this is my snow leopard. It's like, it's gonna look much better when the inside of the eye is filled in, and the weather outside is very dreary and rainy. I just want to sleep, so that's why I'm drinking lots of coffee. All right, and after this I probably will pull out my George project. It's time to crank that up again. Till later. Good morning on February 8th, and I worked past few days, or whatever it stopped my last clip. So you see, that's where I start working. I kind of keep my tiny needle in there. So I almost done 2 columns on my George, and so I'll do little by little, pretty much every day, just like my snow leopard. And I'll show you what I worked into late last night because I wanted to finish, sort of. It's a 99 by In Circles. So last time in January, since I started on New Year's Day for my son, I had, as a reminder, sort of, just done these two bottles, first ones, and a little bit of the main part of a shelf. So last night I just grabbed some threads and worked until like 1 a.m. because my stitch bug wouldn't let me stop, and ta-da, I did 2 more bottles. So it's this one. I did not touch the shelf, so it's as it was before, but I did it, although color wise, if you kind of compare, this brown looks darker than this light brown color. So again, printing a sample on the paper is not always the same color as it is, even when you compare like these blues and these blue colors. It's, yeah, this sample picture is much like a lighter in that way. And the way I do, I kept on my homemade Q-snap, and I have the fabric loosened so it doesn't keep it very tight. So as you can see, it's kind of wobbly. And I'll show you what I'm gonna be working on this month. It's my Traveler by Heaven Nerd Designs, but this one is mini. You see my stash here. So this is page considered page 14. So I'm gonna kind of cracking up this part, and again I'll show you how much I've done so far. This is if you hear the noise, you can kind of see shiny part of a Krynic, but that's what I'm gonna slowly work this month because it's a gift for my husband. He's a big Whovian, can see. So I'll be working on this little by little. I'm not gonna go all too crazy because I need to keep working on George and make this month 5,500 stitches until March 4th. That's what I need to give my update picture to keep in the challenge. So it's, again, since February is not 31 days, it's gonna be a little bit harder to do. Alright, wish me luck! And hello everyone again, last time for this video. And I want to wish everybody, and I hope that you had a very nice Valentine's Day celebration, whether you're alone, but you know, like I said, some of my single friends that, you know, you could just celebrate love. You don't have to be a couple to celebrate Valentine's Day, right? Because we love each other, we love our family and the parents and siblings and friends. So let's get onto it, what I've done. So first half of the February is gone. And as you can see, I started to show my end of that period with Snow Leopard by Joy Sunday. So I hope you remembered some of the stuff that I've done, but I kind of worked scattered patterns, kind of, you know, some in here, some in there, putting stitches, started working a little bit dark stitches, you know, on the forehead, went in deeper, like I think I've done some in here. I don't even remember. So I today is the 15th, Friday, so I don't know if I'll get a chance to work anything today. And we got some snow happening outside the windows, so it's kind of exciting. And yep, so that's where I end up with my Snow Leopard, which is part of one of Stitch 9 challenges that I'm hoping to finish this year, and I will finish it. Since I'm doing this just a little bit by little, sometimes 15 minutes, I usually time versus like, you know, one thread finish kind of thing. So 15 minutes up to an hour maximum per day. So it goes slow but steady, I think. Alright, on to the next. So my next to show you progress would be my beloved. So I've done all this, and I'm happy to say that I finished my whole page 5, and I'm already into, well enough, into the 6th page. So that's about the size of the page. It's pretty big page. You can kind of see what's in there marked, so that's how much I've delved into the next page. And there's a lot of stitches in there. And again, I'm doing this on my own dyed 14 count soft Aida, and I'm doing 4 over 1 10th stitch. So you kind of start seeing, you have to look from far away, start seeing the hair color getting away, and it's gonna be again just kind of like it was in the beginning of a picture, which is like right here, all those duller colors than the black. Yeah, the black hair. And I'm sure once it wash out, all those threads kind of will cover those things, but it's meant to look from further away, not up close. And I didn't work on that much. Let's see, maybe about 5 hours, I believe, or 6. But any stitch is a stitch, right? And this is definitely not my Stitch 9 challenge. I can't finish. I'm hoping to finish by end of the year, at least this page, since there's other projects that I wanna work on, also big ones. So that's what I'm done with the beloved so far. Now on to the next. And the next, what do you call that? It's like my telling you what I've done by the mid-February is my George project. So from this is what I've done from beginning of February. So like February 5th, I started from this place, which is a little bit more than a little bit less than a page. I think the page ended like somewhere in the middle or so, or maybe like 10 away. But anyway, so I've done finish page number 23, and I just started almost done with actually page 24. They're not as huge as my beloved pages by stitch count amount, so you can finish a page a bit sooner than beloved, let's say. But there's still, you know, 100 pages is 100 pages, right? Just the number kind of scares you up. And I'm keep doing this as leaving threads like on the bottom to continue, so it would move in more smoothly, mixing stitches. And I still have to finish until about like right here where I'm showing with scissors, to get my 5500 stitch challenge for this month in my Facebook group that we're doing. And so if I finish that by March, this area by March 4th, and send them a picture as showing that I've done it, next month will be 6,000 stitches. So my George is really going along thanks to that, but it really takes up a lot of time to itself, which is kind of good, but it's also, you know, when the other projects kind of screaming at you to stitch on, yep, then it's kind of getting bored with the same blobs. But I guess I should be happy because I know some of the other ladies that stitching George have this dreary, dark, brownish, dirty water to stitch. At least I have a piece of sky. So this is where I'm left off with George, and I'll be picking it up again today to work on. We'll see how long I do it before I want to grab something else. Okay, so I'll show you what I worked on next. Ta-da! it's my space traveler, although it's mini. If I wish I knew that I could have gotten it in regular size, because I just didn't delve deep in the Heaven and Earth Design website, and I saw this and just bought it right away without looking. And this is one of my oldest right now projects left. So so when I picked it up this month, actually, I had some of the stitching still left to do in this bottom page here, so it's all finished. It's kind of, you see, it's some of the bottom is already covered, but this is the full height of the picture. And now I'm into page 3, which is kind of you can tell it started here, and by the shyness you can see some of the crying ink right here already working in. So I'm not fully doing like a parking method, because I looked at the pattern, and in the pattern, like let's say it's gonna be, you know, the crying ink, the light color, like here, you know, it goes like off like this and then it's done. So I would just pick it up until I finish with the thread and go as far in. Or like, for example, it's gonna be just a little bit of pure black here. So I could do just pure black here because there's nothing else much around. So I would do that. So there's like a patches, like for example, in here, you know, I don't remember if I was doing this part as some of the challenge in the HAED Facebook group, but like I would do this color here and there, and then would be like, well, I'm done, you know, versus like leaving hanging or a little bit thread hanging there. So I was just kind of finishing up the thread, and then if it would be somewhere else later, then I would kind of fill in a hole and then continue where it's further in. But that's what I have left with my mini space traveler. And again, if you're first time on my channel, this is gonna be for my husband, who's Whovian, Doctor Who fan. His sister is one too. And I had this, I don't remember if it was a pin or something to hang on, but I made it, as you can see, into needle binder, isn't it? Because nobody likes those angels from Doctor Who, if you've watched it. And I'm marking just a little bit with the water soluble pen in here, and this is on regular HAED fabric, which is I think 18 count. So that's what I've done with my space traveler. I think I'm gonna keep doing it little by little still until the end of a month, and then I don't know what's gonna be calling me next as a big project. And I also worked on a little bit something else today. So this is my purse project that I do a tiny bit, like when I had to go to the doctor's office, because turns out I do have a sinus infection. So after telling my nurse practitioner that I had always bad time, I should say, swallowing big pills, what do you think she prescribed me? Like this size and this wide, like a horse size antibiotics for me. It's, yeah. So some of the friends were suggesting cutting the pill in half, but I put my big girl panties on, as they say, and it took me like half a bottle each time to drink water, but I managed to get it down the throat. So I'm starting to feel better, slowly but slowly. But yeah, so where I was going with it is I was taking this to a waiting room to see at the doctor's office, and I had a little bit stitched in the car while my son was driving back home from school when I went to pick him up. So as you can see, it's ornament, it's on a plastic canvas, so it's easy to hold in hand. Some say, some probably would say it's tough because it's a plastic, so it's you can't easily bend it to your whim. But I kind of doing this like a color patch by patch, grab the color until I run out of the thread, and then I would pick something else. I do want to hang it back up on the holder, which I'm still using original the way it came. And so the guy itself is almost done. Just a little bit around the legs right here is left, and of course all the back stitching. And I had a couple stitches left to finish in this area, because like you know, like I explained to you before, I was using a thread until it was finished, the thread itself. So if I'm at home, then I'll just fill in those extra few stitches. And there's gonna be the bottom holder there left. I guess you could do that on a regular fabric, you know, and just have it cut out, or like making a pillow or something like this. But I wanted to try again on the plastic canvas. I know that some of the ladies were already mentioning on YouTube that I don't know if it was English speaking or other languages. I'm watching 3 different language YouTube videos for stitchers, that they were changing like a clear into white plastic, I believe, in the color. So I don't know what to think of that, but plastic might be plastic. I don't think I would be leaving the edges, the sharp corners like that. I always try to kind of smooth it out. And some of the ladies were, I think, like a whip stitching around the edges, so none of the plastic would be showing. I don't know if I would do that, but anyway, this is my first project that I'm doing slowly by slowly, and it's another one of my Stitch 9 challenge pieces. So I think that's all I worked on in this this past few weeks, first part of February. And I'll show you what I finally bought since New Year. I finally made some purchases for stitching, can you believe it? I'll show you in a sec. So one of the things I bought, it was from eBay and I didn't pay this price, is the Dimensions Gold Kit. It's called Phantom Flight. And I'm hoping to stitch this for my husband. He likes eagles, and the package didn't cost that much, because some places you have to watch out, they're really trying to rip you off. But it came like tape top, and you know, it's not like unopened. You can tell that it was been open. I think it might have even had a few stitches put it right in the middle, but that didn't bother me. So don't know when I'll start. From what I could see up close, is pretty much all of the background is going to be done with the half stitches, except the eagle, which is full stitches, and there's going to be some, you know, back stitching involved. So it would make a more 3D effect, which Dimensions is fairly known for, because they would use more than 2 threads to make a stitch. Sometimes I think one of the kids had 6 threads working doing a half stitch. So I don't think this is gonna be this occasion, but I'm happy to get it. Looking for more Dimensions kits. Some of them very hard to get, or they're like asking humongous amount of price, and I'm not willing to pay for it. I don't think any of the patterns only even or kits are worth that much money, because as the stitchers we have a lot of things to stitch, right? So another thing I bought, actually I custom order to have a pattern made, is this one. Maybe I'll insert a better picture what original looked like. It's called Spoiled Child by Jean-Baptiste Gueuse. from France, I believe, and like from 1760s. This painting was done, and I've loved it. I want to do more stitching that looks like paintings. So if you have any other great suggestions, I would be happy to hear them and look at them. But anyway, I ordered, lady did a pattern for me. The group is called Adastra, and I believe it's 48 colors used here, but 105 blends of different types of out of those 48 colors. So 48 pure colors, and then they're used mixed up to do lots of blends. So I'm starting to kit it up. I think I'm gonna be doing this on this I got by Artiste 18 count ivory Aida. And I pretty much need that size, exactly just enough, barely enough to have this. It's pretty big size. It's 450 wide by 514 high, and I might even start this if I can get all the threads, which this weekend on Monday, I think President's Day or one of the holidays. Yes, President's Day. Joann's supposed to have DMC on such a great sale that they can't advertise on their paper. So I'm gonna try to get finish getting all the threads for this, and might start even this month, because I'm very eager to start it. I've been picking and picking which old paintings I wanted to stitch on, and that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know. This just drew my eye, and it's just such a, you know, there's some contradictions going on around why it's called Spoiled Child, or it should have been called something else, because, you know, he's secretly like feeding a dog, but mother knows better. Like they say, you know, mom has eyes in the back of her head, and just, oh, I know it's gonna be lots of those dreary colors again, like brownish and grayish. But it's beautifully done. You know, back in those days, if you're a good painter, good artist, you really had nice live looking paintings. So those are the only things that I've bought in this past, well, also if you count fabric, in the past since New Year. So I think I've done pretty good on my shopping. Although just last night I placed the order for some of the threads to finish up kitting some Mirabilis and hands-on design patterns from 123 Stitch. And also, if you know where to get like a Mill Hill bead color card, you know, sort of like a dimensions card where you have all the samples of the beads in there, could you let me know? I've been searching for it, and I don't know how to and where to buy it the best. So that's it for this time. I'm putting together a video what I'm planning to start this year, which would be including this one, this little painting. And again, thank you all for well wishes and prayers for my dad. He came home finally from rehabilitation center last night, and now my mom can relax more because she doesn't have to travel through the big piles of snow by bus to go visit him. And just found out yesterday that one of my cousins' 23-year-old daughter died suddenly, and so it's like second death in my family, although I have extended family, but still it kind of sucks, you know, especially since they're all across the ocean. Also, I still keep seeing number 11. Like, I look at the clock and it would be like 2:11 or like 10:11, and occasionally like 33. So do any of you, I know numbers means something, but do you know what that number means? You know, it doesn't have to be like religious stuff, but I think something is there trying to tell me something, and I don't know what. So anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna be working exactly on the second part of February, except I know I'm gonna try to start this as one of my new starts of the year. I'm gonna be working on a George. I'll have my snow globe project in the purse, and for the rest of it, I have no idea. If there's specific projects you remember and you want me to see it progressing, let me know below too. And tomorrow is Independence Day celebration of Lithuania from 1918, when it was signed first time. So happy independence, Lithuania. This was again Jurgita with Magic Pond Crafts, and don't forget to click like, subscribe, and put down a comment about any of the projects, or just to chat or put questions about anything that you like to talk with me about. Anyway, I think I'm running out of breath. Time to take antibiotics of the morning, and I hope you all have a great rest of the week or day or month. I don't know when you're gonna be watching this video. So until then, bye bye.